All right, 2003 Silverado wouldn't start. It's got like 150,000 miles on it. And I finally figured out what it was. First, I'll show you, I tried doing this you're probably seeing a lot of other people on YouTube say, leave the red wire, cut this one, separate them, maybe tie them together, maybe don't, put a resistor on them. I did that didn't work. You can see I got everything tore apart down here. I was hunting wires, fishing them all around the truck, trying to find them. I went under the truck and looked at all the ground of the block, and everything seemed good. I couldn't figure out what it was. And my truck would start for a second and then it would die. Everything else seemed to work except my window switch here. Then I finally pulled my fuse box apart and found a wire underneath there, and that wire was pretty much melted in half. There just wasn't much of it left right in the middle. So I put that together and my horn went off, and I put it together again and the horn didn't go off. I left it. It had a 30 amp fuse box to it, or 30 fuse to it. And then I figured from that, I traced it. It was to the window switch. Because at that same time, I realized that this wasn't lighting up. And I went to the junkyard. I got a $50 window switch. Now my windows work. And now my truck starts up. Now that doesn't mean that that's a problem with yours. But as I've seen, this is a pretty common one. That a lot of your security is tied into this. This is, it's pretty computerized, so your door locks and everything and your truck overall security is tied into this. Like I even went and I put a new pass lock on. Here's the pass lock. I bought it off eBay for 30 bucks. I put that on there and that wasn't the problem. So I went and put the old one back on because it already recognizes it by the key. So that's just one thing that it could be. See, look at that, I even got a spider in here. How funny. Making Charlotte's Web. So that's one thing that it could be, is just your whole window switch, master door lock mechanism here. Go to the junkyard or eBay or whatever, spend 50 bucks and try that. Now, before I was doing it, the last day I drove it before it broke, the windows were fine, but the door lock kept trying to lock. I was driving 50 miles an hour down the road and it was like a ghost took over. It just kept trying to lock. And I didn't think much of it. Then I parked it in my driveway. The next day I went to start and it would just start for a second and then stop. Start for a second and then stop. It was so frustrating that now I finally figured it out. Here, we'll start it up. I'm not gonna let it run long because I found a gas leak underneath it that I have to fix. So we'll just leave it at that. But here's a good video of it starting and stopping. That's, if you're ruling things out, this might be another thing you try, especially if your window switch isn't working or your locks or any part of this isn't working. And you could also try your passenger one too. See, I got all my panels apart and everything. I gotta put everything back together, but look at that, still running. I know, it's an extremely common problem and there's 1,000 different things it could be, but here's just one thing it was for me.